Welcome back to Exotic Car Play Place, everybody. Thanks for coming back. Glad to see you joined again. And today we're going to talk about 5 cars or vehicles that never seem to depreciate. You're shopping for a used vehicle, and one of these on this list just never seems to go down in value. And you have to beg the question, do I just buy new, or do I want to spend the money on this used one because there's reasons why they hold their value so well? Let's get rolling into it now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with Exotic Car Play. The first one on our list is actually a Jaguar FType R, which essentially is a 550 horsepower supercharged 5-liter V8. Very, very attractive car all the way around, from the quad exhaust to the flares and the haunches at the back to the large wheels. And just the overall appeal of the car is extremely attractive. So why is it to find a 2016 model year in this car, it's still going to cost you at least $80,000 to $85,000 for one of these cars, when they only cost about 120 grand brand new? I mean, that's 4 years of depreciation, and they're still worth 75% what they were when they were brand new, holding extremely strong value. Well, there's some reasons for that. One of the reasons is they're all-wheel drive now. The first generation of these F-Types Rs came out with rear-wheel drive, but the newer versions now have all-wheel drive, so that's more of an appeal for people looking to drive their cars all year round, get 365 out of their vehicles. Not only that, another reason is arguably this is one of the sexiest designs on the planet today outside of the supercar forums. Yes, that's right. Aside from buying a Ferrari or Lamborghini, this is likely one of the best looking, sexiest designs anywhere on a non-exotic car genre. Now, honestly, such a beautiful design. Jaguar hit it out of the park. How about another couple of reasons? 0 to 60 time, 3.4 seconds. Quarter mile, 11.7. How about one even better? These cars here literally have the best exhaust note anywhere this side of a Ferrari or Lamborghini Huracan or Aventador. These cars literally sound better than anything on the market today. Snap crackle from that exhaust. These cars sound ornery, angry, and just vicious at the best of times. Really, what's not to love? And therefore, as a result, these hold really, really strong value. Begs the question, maybe you just buy them new because the used car prices are really holding strong. And so the second car on our list for holding the value so high that makes you want to buy a new car instead goes to the Nissan GTR. Godzilla, that's right. So we talk about 2009, 2010 model year cars, the early ones, for example. When it came out, it was mind-blowing in the performance. There was nothing else that could keep up with this thing. That's right. It had a twin-turbo V6, dual-clutch transmission, 0 to 60 time in under 3 seconds, quarter mile, well, whatever, around 12 seconds. And honestly, it was just breathtaking. Not only that, it's a cult following, these cars. And the GTR here has all-wheel drive, a comfortable leather interior, launch control, which coincidentally did have a negative toll on the car at times. Either way, this thing was spectacularly fast. Now, the fact that it's got a serious cult following makes it desirable by anybody who's in the tuner world. About $80,000 new, and now the cheapest you can find them is about 60 grand. Obviously, they're holding their value up 70-80% of new, and as a result, it is an extremely good buy. So what do we have here? This is our third selection. This is the AMG Mercedes G63. That's right, this is the G Wagon. This is the upscale G Wagon, the AMG version. Why is this vehicle holding a value? Well, first of all, the value that it holds typically is close to 60% after 5 years. What we're talking about here is a vehicle that was originally MSRP 170, 180 grand. Today, this vehicle is still worth close to $100,000. That places it at about 60% of its original value. Well, let's talk about some of the reasons why this vehicle is holding its value so darn well. First of all, it's a very attractive vehicle in its basic form. It's very simplistic by nature, large doors, very easy access. As boxy as it may be, it's very functional. Now, you couple that with the fact that AMG outfitted a twin-turbo V8 engine in this particular vehicle, but these G-Wagons are available with different engines, many different types of engines, from V8 engines to inline turbo 6 engines to the twin turbo V8 AMG that we find right here. So lots of different variations, the simplicity, the access, the fact that these vehicles are one of the only vehicles that has full locking differentials. So this, in other words, has no problems powering through some of the worst driving off-roading conditions anywhere. Not only that, you know what? The Pope from the Catholic Church utilized one of these as the Pope Mobile. That's right. And what adds to this fact of its popularity is the fact that these vehicles were initially used by the US Army. Outside of that, can you name any other reasons why these vehicles are as popular and holding their value like they do? Well, it's quite simple. It's people like YouTubers and influencers that get their hands on these as well, and people that like to modify them. Have you ever seen any of those 6x6 vehicles now where they're modifying these? They're jacking them up and they're putting 6 sets of axles in here. Now instead of having 4, you have 6 wheels. They're sort of a trend-setting vehicle now. People are getting their hands on them for modifying them, and they seem to be a great platform. They're also very exclusive, they're very expensive, and there's a certain underlying value that's just retained there just because of its exclusivity. So how can you ever go wrong with a G Wagon? They do come at a cost, but if you have one, hold on to it. So what kind of high resale value list would we be if we didn't have a Lexus like this one on our list? That's right, here's a slightly older GX model, and here's a slightly newer GX model. What are these? These are full-size SUVs that actually have a V8 engine available, third row seating inside in the back, and they have the capability to tow a trailer. What's even more important here is that these cars have an absolute stellar reputation for dependability. There's really nothing notable that's chronic or consistently an issue with the GX models of Lexus. Why are they dependable? Because they go with what they know. They use a tried and true V8 engine in here. Everything else is relatively basic. The interior is a little bit dated, but dependable and sturdy, if nothing else. So maybe slightly bland, but this vehicle will do everything you ask it to do and more, and as well, it won't break down while in the process. And so the fifth vehicle on this list that absolutely is insane the way it holds its value goes to the Jeep Wrangler. That's right, the Wrangler, just like what we have right here, particularly the 4-door Jeeps, just like this. When you're looking at one of these, the value is absolutely insane. These vehicles, after about 3 years, hold their value to about 2/3 or about 67% of its original value. How about after 5 years, they still hold themselves to close to 60% of its original purchase price? Well, there's a reason for this. And why do you suppose that reason is? Do you suppose it's their safety record? No, because these Jeeps actually have one of the most atrocious crash safety results anywhere on the market today. They're actually deemed very unsafe in crash tests. Okay, what else do you think? So do you think it's the quality of materials found in these Jeeps? No, not really, because when you look inside of these things, they really do feel like a Tupperware manufacturing facility. Plastic everywhere. So that's not the reason why these hold their value so well. So how about the performance? Do you think it's the performance found under the engine or the acceleration that you get from one of these Jeeps? No, not at all. These things are so heavy, coupled with the small engine, they can barely get out of their own way. How about the reliability of these vehicles? They must be very reliable. Not a chance. One word, Chrysler. So that's not the reason. So what is the reason why these vehicles hold their value so well? Well, it's ultimately their style, versatility, functionality, and the fact that these vehicles really do appeal to the younger buyer. They're popular, they're versatile, relatively functional in the sense that you can tow with them, you can drive them in any weather, they're all-wheel drive, you can take them off-roading, there's lots of space, you have 4 doors, you have a trunk, you have room and towing capacity, and they are a trendy vehicle, there's no questions asked. They hold their value, partially also because they're a relatively simple machine. That's why these ones hold their value so strong. So everybody, if you found this video helpful, and I'm sure you did if you've been shopping for a high-end vehicle, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You're really going to love a lot of the content on the channel. There's a ton more great information for you if you're shopping for high-end vehicles. Not only that, be sure to hit that link below. That's going to take you to some of the most reliable vehicles that are on the market available today. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.